And his tires got slashed. And the first thing I thought was like, literally the first thing that went through my mind energetically was that he thinks it's me. He thinks it's me because we had like a tiny little uncomfortable interaction when I was buying some, just because he asked me why I was buying a lighter, and he said, "Do you smoke?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you weed?" And I said, "Yes." And then there was an uncomfortable pause because he's probably Muslim, right? So it was fine. It was like, okay. I made sure I was like really polite when I came in. Like, people don't like awkward things. It's not his fault, but it's like sometimes you just have to, because people don't know you. He doesn't know you. You don't know if people are gonna get mad or, in the course of conversation with people, you're gonna say things probably in your life that you think are things you would take back because you're not sure how people respond to certain things, right? And so I showed him by coming in several times and, "Hello, how are you? Everything's fine, And after a while, he sort of kind of calmed down. They don't have to feel defensive, like you're going to show them something, get back at them or something. Because people, especially people who you think maybe live on the street, and you may think that I'm a bit Indian, and they tend to take things quite personally sometimes. Because every little insult hurts more, right? Every little reminder that you're not a big person or an important person or you're not happy, right? People may not understand, like, if you're not happy, and little things hurt more. At the same time, there are patterns. I said to my mom, I said, the way people talk to me are always based on an assumption that I'm economically disadvantaged. And as a result, or commensurate with that assumption, which protects me from getting to know them or them getting to know me. But they have no trouble telling me about their lives or what they do. They basically used to see you like a tampon or a Playtex, some sort of maxi pad, like just someone they can just pour things into and you'll absorb it. And then they can just go away and forget about you. Just project at you all the time. Blah, blah, blah. There's a poorish lady named Victoria. She drives a car. But if I ever run into her and she's in the mood, she'll be like blah 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 blah, usually for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then she'll leave. And it's nothing. It's verbiage, it's sound, it's nonsense. It's not a conversation, right, of any kind. She's never actually formed a natural rapport with me. She's never actually given me a signal that I'm safe interacting with her. But she's a female, so people think they don't have to, right? She's really just someone I'd never want to see again. Right? Very few people form natural relations with me. Anyway, Chevron saying that his Jeep, he has a lot of expensive cars. So he comes from a wealthy family, and his Jeep had the wheels slashed. You could see the guy slashing one of them, and then he went around and slashed another. And he called the police, and he said they caught the guy. He's like, wow, the police do something. And the store for stealing. For shoplifting. And we're going to analyze this today. And I know that the first conclusion, right top of the charts, is you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't slash people. But you ever believe in something called karma? I don't believe in karma. It's actually quite at the level of the real philosophy of karma, it's actually quite barbaric. Like, just a sense that there's a natural order to things and a balance. And I was there one day, and there was a woman outside the Chevron. It was cold, snow, as cold as the winter gets, -5 degrees. And she was out there freezing. And these guys, they work in the Chevron. They're there all night. They're there 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. No one brought her a cup of coffee. No one brought her a sandwich. Bought her a sandwich, some chips, something warm, anything, right? Do you want me to call someone? Nothing. That's not their job. And I thought, and I asked her if she wanted something. And one day I bought her a meal. The next time she didn't want to see me again. So she said no. And I have less money than these guys do, right? I said to my mom the other day, I said, you ever seen a police officer buy a homeless person a meal? You ever seen them actually give a homeless person a helper? You ever seen that? Right? You say, oh, I've seen it before. I saw it once. It's like seeing the Sasquatch. And then once you see one, like, I know they exist because I saw one. They're good. I see them. I saw it once. He bought a guy a one-way to San Quentin. Free meals for a lifetime, you know. And this guy was a little rude to me one day, a little proprietary. That's fine. He's young and full of whatever. But the first thing I learned about him, and I didn't disrespect him for this, is that he has a lot of very expensive vehicles. He has a 2021 Jeep, all the trim Mercedes. He has 2 cars. And he works at a gas station. It's interesting, right? The other guy that works there has a very expensive car. And I think he worked for it, right? And you've got someone, a man, a homeless man, he says, who doesn't have anything, who came in there on the take stuff. Which is really a victimless crime, essentially. If you just let that guy keep incoming, take a few things, and look the other way, right? But he's Muslim. If you're wrong, they cut off your hands, right? Even if you're hungry, you still shouldn't steal, right? I shoplifted once $10 and a couple of potatoes or something, maybe a macaroni and cheese. I had been beaten up, mutilated. I had a shoulder and most of my ribs dislocated by the sick people around me. I had been stalked for months and years at that point. I didn't know what stalking was. My sister's been stalking me since I was a teen. We can get into stalking another time about how many human beings stalk people. They stalk family members. My sister stalks my mother. She always has an agenda. And how foul relationships with sour grapes turn into stalking. And family relationships, things like that. And eating, to me, even talking in a way that leads someone to disintegrating circumstances is stalking. And he's saying, I'm glad it wasn't my Mercedes because it'd be more expensive to replace the tires. He probably had to get his Jeep towed to someplace to get the tires fixed. It's going to cost, probably $700 or $800 or more, maybe even $1,600. I don't know the price of tires for Jeeps. I'm guessing they're expensive. And let's say the whole thing cost him $2,000. And we're analyzing things. And he said to me, the police caught him, but since he's homeless, he's not going to be able to pay the price. Okay? Worst comes to worst, they give him a few free nights in jail, maybe, right? I was impressed the police caught him. They must have something. But what didn't they like about him? Well, what didn't they like about him? Well, he gave him a bad energy. Frankly, that guy is giving me a bad energy. I was almost happy to use the homeless man as a scapegoat. Because Dan doesn't really chat with me much anymore, but today was the most conversation we had in weeks. Time we got his tires being scratched, and I empathized with him. It's like, he got more compassion from me about the very real, yes, violent effects of having your property attacked. Feel good, right? I don't approve of that at all, and I get compassion for him, right? Now we're on the ups again, right? In this way, the homeless man becomes the scapegoat. Right? He doesn't know me, but in a way, he's helped me to have a better relationship with this brown man. Right? And you do tell people when something bad happens to you because you're commiserating with your customers, I guess. But all this guy wanted to do was probably steal a couple of chocolate bars or something, to start his day. And if you think about all the stores and all the convenience stores in the world, and all the supermarkets in the world, you start to think to yourself, do you really think that the biggest crime in the world is that they lose 0.001% of their inventory on a monthly basis to robbery or theft by hungry humans? Humans are so hungry and so desperate that they would resort to these means to get a few calories. Right? Think about it. Take all your religion, all your Islam. Forget everything you're taught. Forget your money mind. I want someone to steal something from me, but they're not stealing from you. They're stealing from Chevron, multi-trillion-dollar corporation. Multi-trillion-dollar corporation selling you gas at hundreds of times the price that it should be, right? Connected to the subsidized automobile industry, who's making thousands of times more off you than they should. With your Popemobile, which is basically your car is regressive taxation. You're taxed for it. It's a tax haven, right? Okay. And what? $10 worth of food every week? I mean, these people crap that much. Okay? It's a sense of proportion. And so, to the homeless man's perspective, right, this is extremely egregious. I've been kicked out of places without having to steal anything. I just get stalked by people. So again, I don't agree with stealing, but I do agree. I also disagree with kicking people out of places for stealing. Right? With this tree falling, look at this. It's the most complicated tree fall I've ever seen in my life because you can't go around it. I see somebody's made maybe some kind of a headway on this. You can't go around it. You can't climb over it. You can't walk around it. I suppose you could go around here. And the city hasn't come to do anything about it. The city that collects millions of dollars of regressive taxes every year, who clears this once a year, can't come down here to cut a few, right? But if somebody sees anyone they think is homeless wandering around federal, hell, they'll send any number of officers being paid $100,000 a year to come and harass innocent people, usually white men, right? At what cost? It's priorities, right? Different priorities, right? Different priorities. So I commiserated with the guy, and I left the store, and I kind of thought, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you should think about how you treat people. The man has, by his own admission, right, $250,000 worth of automobile, and he's worried about replacing a couple tires. And again, it's just still an injury. He's still a victim. I get it. I'm not saying he's not. But I'm saying I'm not going to solve this problem for you by saying that's it. That's not it. That's not how we're going to become a more peaceful people. Right? Right? Part of this world impoverished, it orphans one's an orphan. The core problem of all human conflict is that people are orphaned and they're never mommy and daddy. To get help for being an orphan and to restore you to your mommy and daddy. That's what everybody needs. That's what my mother and father taught me. I'm a good person, little boy, born in Sweden. I'm still a child. There's nothing wrong with that. alcoholic stalkers. Of course, that's no big deal because I'm a white man. White men are entitled to walk around safely. I've been told by other workers. You're totally safe wherever you go because you have a penis. And it's the wand of safety. Oh, look, he's got a penis. I'm going to give him total space. Instead, it's the opposite. Women attack me because I have. Men attack me because I have a penis. It's carte blanche to attack somebody. The healthier you are, the fresher you meet. There's a reason you don't want to walk around by yourself on unemployment. You know, and you gotta build up a thick skin. I picked this walk because it's peaceful to walk around. But yeah, she's a player. I hope one day someday, the day I come by in the car sitting there, it'll be a beautiful day. Right? That time will come. So we got his tire slashed. Now he's probably got insurance to pay for that too. So his insurance will pay for it. Right? So with a deductible, it's got maybe a $2,500 bill. It's probably got like a $100 to $300 deductible. Right? And he's got $250,000 worth of cars. Right? Now vehicles, you may notice, don't appreciate. So if you've got $250,000 worth of cars, you probably have real estate too. Because you don't put that kind of money into a vehicle as an investment, right? It's more like a statement, right? Now there's 4 other guys that work there, and their tires didn't get slashed. You can wonder if maybe that's just something coming back to you. So it's a good example. I do feel compassion for someone who's had their property violently harmed in front of them while they're working. Your car, I've had bikes stolen while I was working, and it didn't feel good. And it wasn't even malicious, it's just so because they could get them, right? And this guy must have been really fucking mad or stupid to do this in full view of the owner. That was pure emotion. It was a crime of passion. Right? I'm gonna take a crap over. That's a good thing. I've already had one. I had another one. I don't wish this man ill at all. It's interesting to watch what goes on. I just remember saying to my mom, I said, there's a woman out there in the cold freezing. Right? Yeah, and I come into the store, and this man has been working there for hours with homeless people outside the store freezing. And he's telling me how uncomfortable he was getting into his car and starting it in the morning because it took so long, his Mercedes, to heat up. So he was comfortable, and how difficult the roads were. Right? Now, you can say this is unfair, obviously. You kind of look, from my perspective, you look at this tableau. Let's say you're taking an art history class, and you listen to his problems, right? In the warm store, where he's respected, a job, and he's got a family, obviously, with millions of dollars. Okay? And then you get the woman outside, who has nobody, who's freezing, who's making sure nobody rapes her. And compare the two people. Problems and their ills. Right? It's quite stark, isn't it? Right? He's a 5 minutes. She's been in -3 weather in the snow for years off and on. It's a difference. That girl had probably had 0 caloric intake that day. You know, it is living off of the ability for the human body to be cold for long stretches of time. What a relief. Fuck. Oh, fuck, what a relief. 2 huge baths first thing of the day. That is such a relief. Oh, thank you. I had a white woman for years now, and a white man treat me like I don't belong here. Like I need to answer for what I'm doing here. And have called the police on me for walking in these woods. Which is pretty creepy, right? I think you'd say. Pretty creepy in most people. Right? And they still stop. They never. They can't stop. They can't help themselves. Right? The guy still uses my name. I don't say anything to him. I barely even know it close to me. He looks like he's aging a lot. Right? They live in a sick world and they live in denial. Right? So no one ever really tells the truth. No one has real emotions about anything. If you grow up in an alcoholic family, you think it's just you. But it's all white people who live in denial. Oh my God, that felt good. Oh, what a relief. Oh, it's been a while since I said 2 such spectacular craps early in the day. Just to unload like that is amazing. Oh, man, that feels good. Oh, I had a few very disquieting days, I'll tell you. Oh, it's still crapping, but it's just nervy a lot because I was being stalked. And I'll go into it another time. And that's what white people do. That's what the police specialize in. Stalking. If you want to stalk someone, the police are there with you. As long as it's the right kind of person to stalk. And white women especially know who that is. People know, right? They know who they can stalk. Right? People who don't accept your no, they don't read no in your body. They don't ever guess that they're making you uncomfortable anyway. White people stalk all the time. It's normal for them. but they're always lying to themselves. Right? People whose lives are full of lies, they end up stalking people. If you're an honest person, you will never stalk anyone. If you do, it's, you're traumatized. So your mind is lying about some trauma that it has and projecting it onto someone out of love, out of any reason. Projection is 9 tenths of the law. And not protection, projection. I've gone through a lot the last few years. If I didn't have my mom around, I wouldn't be very well right now. You can't take someone to court for that. Managers, I'm not even homeless. I just have the time to do shopping from day to day. Okay? I show my face in a store with people with vaginal openings on a regular basis. I'm not trying to be crude. If people have vaginal openings who see me from day to day buying things that I need to go about my day for my own personal reasons, I will be stalked and I will be asked to leave. Right? And you'll see comparisons. You'll see women there who aren't stalking you and women who are, and the completely different attitude they have. It's really shocking in itself. You'll get the women in the stores that are stalking you, and the women who, as well they should, don't give a fuck about you. Because yes, why should you, right? I'm an ugly middle-aged virgin who lives with his mom. Leave me alone, right? I have no use to you, right? I assure you, I have nothing to offer you. My dick will not improve your bank account or your life in any way, okay? I'm useless. Don't stalk me. You want to talk about entitled? Let's have some weed. I saw his Jeep there yesterday, and I don't care about it anymore. I talked to him about his Jeep, his wonderful Jeep, his Sergeant Jeep. He's like, okay. He loves his Jeep. And whatever. I don't want to wish ill on a decent person, but it's funny. He's the only guy in that store I don't really like. And that homeless one was out there for how many hours, never got her a cup of coffee, and is telling me about his problems with heating up his car in the morning because it takes time to do that. And I just thought, what a strange picture this makes. Because of course I spend the day outside talking to a man that spends 365 days of the year in not the coldest of areas, but a wintry area indeed in Canada for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, or 7, 8, 9, 10 miles a day. It goes to show how tuned out someone can be. Now, I don't work there, granted, but if I saw a man come in who was taking, pocketing $5 worth of shit now and then, I'd say hi, have a good day. Fuck Chevron, right? Call the